Now, let's talk hardball. This is River City Hardball, presented by 𝘀𝘁 Jacksonville. Here's your host, Andrew Gibson.
Good Sunday morning, Jacksonville. This is River City Hardball, presented by 𝘀𝘁 Jacksonville. I'm your host, Andrew Gibson. We're a show that is focused and dedicated to baseball in Jacksonville. We focus on high school, college, and pro baseball here in the River City. We've got a lot coming up on the show today. A live couple of guys guests here in the studio, welcoming in the Tocoi Creek Toros that are coming in here with us today. The head coach is Phillip Wisser. They're 17-4. Earlier this year, they won 14 games in a row. Also joining us live in studio, Ben Robinson and Andy Lemaster. Ben, you're the catcher for the Toros. Andy, you're the right fielder. Head coach Phillip Wisser is with us as well. Coach, thanks for jumping in. This is cool to have you guys in the studio this morning.
Yeah, we appreciate you having us, and it's been a fun ride and looking forward to today.
Coach, you and I spoke about this probably a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, about this opportunity to bring your team in here and your couple guys. Tell me why you decided on Ben and Andy.
I mean, two of our seniors that have kind of been the catalyst of our team, and I mean, we're kind of a group this year that really everybody comes through. It's not really one guy, but these two guys have played a very big role for us. Ben as a catcher has just been phenomenal behind the plate, as well as obviously a very big hitter for us. But when you have a catcher that can shut down run games, it makes a big difference and a big reason why we're doing it. And then Andy's been just clutch all year at the plate. I mean, in our 3-hole, leading our team in average and I think he's got the most doubles on the team and just been very, very consistent at the plate for us. So felt these two guys would be good to be here.
I want to clear something up because a lot of people, they may not know a whole lot about Tocoi Creek, third-year program, and it's Tocoi, correct?
Yes, it's Tocoi. As our principal said in a meeting the first day of school, it's you kind of think about your big toe, a toe, and then think of a koi fish because a lot of people say Tocoi, but that's, I guess, the official pronunciation.
Well, that's going to stick in my head forever now, and I hope for those listening that's what you remembered as well. Tocoi Creek. I always said Tocoi. Yeah. And I'm sure everybody else says that too, right?
I definitely said it at first before we were told.
All right, so Ben Robinson, Andy Lemaster, two of the players from Tocoi Creek. Ben, let's start with you. Tell me about your senior year. What's this been like for you this season?
I mean, it's been real fun. You know, all the boys having a blast. It's just, I don't really know. I mean, we're all kind of having fun, doing a good job, playing baseball, doing what we like to do, you know.
Why was catcher your position? What made you decide to be a catcher?
I've always kind of been a catcher, you know. It was like that one day in Little League, the other catcher didn't have a cup, so I had to step in. I had a cup, and I started playing, you know. And ever since then, I've kind of been a catcher.
Coach, I've got to be honest, when Ben rolled up here this morning, I'm like, this guy's in high school? Ben looks older for his age, I'll say that.
I remember seeing him as a freshman when he was at Nice because he's actually zoned Tocoi but was at Nice first. And I remember seeing him as a freshman, and I'm like, this kid's he's just big and physical. And on campus, the same thing. People say, is he even in high school? They kind of every so often pull out that ID just to make sure.
What have you seen this year on the field and behind the plate from Ben?
I mean, just the consistency. I mean, I kind of joked with Coach King at Creekside the other day because one of the things that I've always known about Creekside baseball is they run. And for the last 2 years, I mean, he knows Ben, and when I see a passive Creekside on the bases, it kind of just that one example kind of shows who he is, and to have a guy behind the plate that he's a wall, and the arm is just it's exceptional. He's going to Northwest Florida to play next year, one of the premier junior colleges in the state. But it's you shut down a run game, and it makes a difference in a ball game, and it is a big part of the reason we're doing what we're doing.
Final moment or two here with you, Ben, and we'll get to Andy in just a moment. Tell me why Northwest Florida. Tell me about that opportunity for you.
So I had a few offers rolling into Northwest Florida. I went and visited, and they just had a outstanding facility. You know, their cages they have 5 indoor cages. They have, you know, a lot of room for me to grow, and I really saw that as a opportunity. I really took it.
We're visiting with two of the players and the head coach from Tocoi Creek. They're 17-4 this year, winners of 14 in a row earlier this season. Andy Lemaster is the right fielder for Tocoi Creek. Andy, I know you're a little bit nervous, but it's all right. We're not going to bite you. Thanks for coming to the studio this morning. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing good. You know, it's been a fun year. Our group this year is real tight. Like last year, we had a lot of talent, but we weren't that tight, and we didn't win as many games as we should have. So this year, it really shows how becoming close can help us win.
Andy, you're crushing the ball this year. I'm just going to put it that way.
Thank you.
Tell me about your approach at the plate. What has it been like? I mean, it seems like you're seeing a beach ball out there on the mound?
Yeah, usually I just wait for my pitch. I get it probably at least once every at bat. I try not to miss it, lay off all the junk, and I just hit my pitch.
Andy, you're uncommitted, but I know you've got a lot of looks. What has this process been like for you? Are you being selective on where you want to go?
Well, I haven't really got any offers, so there's not much to pick from. But I'm just trying to get looks, go wherever is best for me, and wherever I can help the other team the most.
Coach, tell me about the process with Andy. I know you guys are hoping to get some more looks and maybe some offers for him soon.
Yeah, I've been talking to a few schools about him. He's a very good outfielder, and actually he's a converted outfielder. He was an infielder at first. When he's actually only a 2-year member of our school. He moved from Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
We got one from Virginia, one from Maryland. I always mix them up. But he 2 years in our school, and last year came in as a junior. Really swung the bat well for us in the fall. And then this year it's been a consistency all year. And I've been talking to a few different JUCOs in Florida. But we transitioned him to the outfield, and I have to say that defensively he's turned into a really, really good outfielder. And one thing we pride on, and I try to really push on the kids, is the live reps and batting practice. Not many guys do it. A lot of guys like to go out there and hang out and talk with their friends. But he's a guy that has absolutely capitalized on the opportunity in practice and BP and has become a very, very good outfielder, has a great arm. I think he's got 2 or 3 outfield assists this year on top of it, and just been a consistent player. And I've been talking to a few junior colleges already, and we're still working on it. But we'll all definitely be able to find something for him because he's definitely good enough to play at the next level.
Tell me about him as a hitter, because those numbers I've seen this year have been really good.
Yeah, he's just been consistent. He's hard on himself, and we like a lot of these kids are. But it's every game. Every game, even if he goes over to that third at bat, he comes up and finds a way to get a hit. It's almost like every game he's got one, and a lot of times it's in big situations. We've started 2-out rallies because he's our 3-hole, going 2 quick outs in the first, and he'll get a big double or a base hit, and then obviously find a way to score through the guys behind him. But just a consistency. He's one of the guys that you definitely want up in the line, up in the game when the game is on the line.
You guys recently had a 14-game winning streak. To keep a winning streak alive like that, take me through what that 14-game streak was like for you, Coach.
It was awesome. I'll be honest. So this is my 20th year as a head high school coach, and I've been very, very blessed with some very strong teams. No disrespect to this team. It's by far, I've had much more talented teams, but as Andy mentioned before, I don't know that I've had a closer knit group than this group. We don't have a lot of numbers. We've got 18 guys. 3 of those are hurt, so we've been really riding with 15. And it's almost like there's no pressure on them. They just show up and play baseball. And that's really the neatest part about it. We give up 2-3 runs. It's a blink of an eye. It doesn't matter. The other night we played Fernandina. We scored 4 in the first. They bounced back and put up a 5, and it was like, okay, let's go. Let's go back out. We put 4 back up. And it's kind of like I said, just been one of those that we show up, and within that streak, we've seen arms. I will say, yes, we're a third-year school. I want to say this year we've seen 87-plus arms this year, and have been very good at being able to battle in those games and do what we did. Ran into a very, very good Logan Hartman over at Bartram to end our streak, and losing on a sac fly in the 7th, but it was a great ball game, and very proud of our guys, and it was definitely a fun ride. Unfortunately, we're starting to get hot a little bit again, and now's the time to do it with playoffs around the corner.
Coach, tell me about your background a little bit. You're from South Florida, Miami originally. You went to Flagler. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I went to Coral Gables High School in Miami. Graduated there in 1999. Wanted to go to Flagler. Played ball for my first year. Got hurt and got in the management side of things. My goal was actually to work in professional baseball. And one of my coaches called me when I came home and said, "Hey, can you come help me out?" I was at Miami Springs. Very, very talented team. Talking 𝘀𝗁𝗍𝗲 Grandal was our starting catcher. Mm-hmm. And we actually had 7. I think that team actually had 7 Division I players on it. But long story short, so I actually get the head coaching job at 23 years old. My second year, was there for 3 years. Then my alma mater came back and offered me the head coaching job there, so I was there for 10 years. And then it was just time. I love Miami. I'm born and raised. It's my home. But at some point, I knew I wanted to come back to St. Augustine. Reached out to Coach Barnett, Jonathan Holt, who was an assistant coach at the time, asked if there were any jobs opening, and St. Joe and Menendez were open, and I got this job at St. Joe, and was there for 4 years. heard about Tocoi opening up. I live down the street, and I think as a coach, everybody's dream is to be able to start something from scratch. And we have definitely implemented something over there. And like I've told our boys from day one, my ultimate goal is to become one of the powerhouses in St. Johns County, and just to kind of be, hey, we're obviously recognized. To do it in 3 years, I didn't expect it. I'll be honest. Like, I thought we'd be very good this year. I didn't know if we'd be doing what we're doing. But it's to the kids. The kids have bought in. They listen to what we ask. They do what we want them to do. And again, that close knit. Like I said, I've had teams that are extremely talented, but the close knit I think is bigger than anything.
We got 2 minutes left here with Phillip Wisser, the head coach of Tocoi Creek, Andy Lemaster, the right fielder, and Ben Robinson also with us in studio here this morning on River City Hardball, presented by 𝘀𝗫𝗇 Jacksonville. Final moment or two, Coach. You mentioned St. Johns County. The baseball down there is ridiculous. I mean, there are so many good programs. I'm going to leave off so many, but you've got Creekside, you've got you guys, you've got Bartram, St. Augustine. You've got so many good programs down there. Tell me what it's like coaching with and against some of these great schools.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, obviously, when I first moved up here, it was kind of funny because nobody knew who I was, and kind of got, I don't want to say shafted, but it was definitely looked at like, oh, this guy from Miami coming up here.
Yeah.
But no, it's been great. The relationships I've made with these coaches, they're always battles. Listen, every team in our district is in St. Johns County is good. The teams that are down in the past have been very solid, and it's a battle, and it really is. And to be at that level, I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting to see the growth of what's happening in our school. Can't get over how fast our school is growing. I mean, it's on a daily basis. We just keep getting kids, and it's been a blast to be welcomed in St. Johns County and battle with these coaches.
What do you guys got coming up next? Tell me about your schedule. You're 17-4. What's next for Tocoi Creek?
So we've got Keystone coming up on Monday. I know they've had a really solid season. Then Tuesday we play Matanzas at home, and then Thursday we are home against Orange Park, and they're not somebody to turn an eye on. They've definitely pulled a lot of upsets, and then playoffs are the following week. We'll be watching that rankings, that FHSA rankings come Tuesday. Got some help from Childs on Saturday. They upset beat Buchholz. So Buchholz went 1-2. We went 2-0 this week. We were really about 1 point in the rating in that FHSA ranking. So hoping we can jump them to become the 1, because if we get the 1, we get to host the route and we'll get a first round bye in the playoffs.
Andy, are you hitting 365? Is that what I saw?
I think so, yep.
That's pretty good stuff. You realize that's pretty good, right?
I guess, yeah.
All right, good luck to you. Ben, thanks for coming in. Andy, thank you. Andy Lemaster is the right fielder for Tocoi Creek. Ben Robinson is the catcher. Phillip Wisser is the head coach. Guys, this was so much fun. It flies by, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming in today, guys. Best of luck to Tocoi Creek. And remember, if you guys are listening, it's Tocoi. Think of your toe and a koi fish, right? Is that what your principal said?
That's exactly it.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming in the studio. Tocoi Creek here live in studio on River City Hardball.